leg warmers, Batman. It is freaking cold. Oy! 32 degrees. 32 degrees here in February 1st, 2021. Hello, my fellow YouTubers. Well, I guess you're not really you're on YouTube, but do you have a channel? If you do, drop it in the comment section. I would love to see what you got going on there. But anyway, yeah, so it's February. It is the month of, well, let me rephrase that. It's the month where you get a lot of people talking about Black history, the pleasing history. It's very, well, this year might be a little different. Folks might actually be doing those deeper dives and talking about the more harsh realities of Black history in America. It is also the month that people tend to talk a lot about love because of Valentine's Day. And there's going to be talk of self-love and romantic love and just loving on the planet and all this good jazz. But you know what I find interesting is that people talk about love, but they don't talk about pleasure. And when you first hear the word pleasure, a lot of people automatically think sex. Same with the phrase, or same with the word sensual. People hear that word and they automatically think you're talking dirty. One of the things I want to point out is that neither one of those words is directly related to sex per se. Yes, sex can be a part of pleasure and sensuality, but it's when you talk about just the basic definitions and descriptions, pleasure and sensual to begin with is about the senses. So it's things that you taste, see, smell, hear, right? So some of anything can be sensual if it affects your 5 senses. Pleasure, on the other hand, doesn't always come from a physical act. It's a feeling, at least as far as I'm concerned, it's a feeling that is triggered by any number of things. And I have been thinking a lot lately about the fact that I want to lead a more pleasurable life. One that is centered more around doing, feeling, having things that bring me pleasure. And no, I'm not talking about anything that needs batteries or, well, batteries may be involved, because it's a cinch that my dream car has a fairly decent sized battery in it. But anyway, pleasure. Things that are sensually pleasing. Things that feel good against the skin. Things that sound good. Things that bring me pleasure. So, dedicating the month of February to the pursuit of pleasure. I want to experience pleasure in as many aspects of my life as I possibly can. So, yeah, let's see how this works out, shall we? I think that's going to be it. This is going to be a quick intro to the week's vlog, because it's cold. I need to turn on the heat. It's going to be loud. And I want to get home as quickly as possible, because this right here, this 32 degrees, is not pleasurable at all. So anyway, hopefully your week is off to a good start, and I'll see you in the next one. Howdy ho, good neighbors. It is Tuesday, February 2nd, and it's actually not the evening yet. I'm about to run and grab some lunch, and this thought occurred to me after yesterday's segment. I wanted to ask how much how much of the stuff that you own do you have because it truly benefits you, it truly brings you pleasure, or do you have it because you're supposed to? Like, I was thinking, I don't own a home. Let me rephrase that, because let's be real. How many people actually, quote, own their homes? At this point, to me, a mortgage is basically just rent with way more responsibility. I have never wanted to own a home. I have wanted to live someplace where I could paint and put up shelves and have the kitchen of my dreams, but I've never really wanted to own a home. And so at 53 years old, you'll get folks, they kind of give you that side eye, like, oh, you're not buying a home, you live in an apartment. What's that all about, right? And automatically, oh, well, you must have terrible credit, you're poor, you have no money, you don't know how to manage money, blah, 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 right? All these assumptions pop up because at 53, you're supposed to own a home. You are certainly supposed to be paying a mortgage, right? And I'm just not interested. Something else that I was thinking about as I was looking around my apartment, I was just looking at the number of things that I have that really do bring me joy. It's pleasurable to look at them. I feel good having these items, right? And they are items that a lot of people, my mother included, have casually commented on, well, why would you buy that? Or why do you still have that? It was cute when you were a teenager, but why do you still have a poster of Prince on your wall? And why do you still have a poster of Storm from the X-Men when she was in her mohawk and leather phase? My favorite. Why all the dragons? Like, what's that about? What's with this shot glass collection? Because I am certainly past an age and stage physically where I can handle doing a lot of shots, but back in the day. Anyway, that's not why we're here. But yes, so all of that combined got me to thinking today about most people and the things that they own, the things that they wear, the behaviors that they participate in, the beliefs that they have, all of that. How much of what you have, do, think, and say really brings you pleasure? Or are you thinking it, doing it, believing it, blah, 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 because somebody said you should? So I want you to think on that, and I'll be back this evening with the actual evening commute. So we'll see you then. So now it's the evening, and officially the evening commute vlog segment for Tuesday, February 2nd. And it's a somewhat toasty 42 degrees. So a little warmer than it was yesterday, but still, I am not one for being out and about in these cold temperatures. Now, if, let's say, for example, I lived somewhere, I don't know, perhaps somewhere in and around the lovely British countryside, I would imagine it gets pretty chilly. But if I didn't have to go anywhere, or if wherever I had to go, I could go and come back, or go and be warm and then come back, go home, whatever, would be cool. But this having to be out and about, going back and forth to work, sitting in a building that is cold, and it just, no, I'm not a happy camper about all of that. But as we talk about pleasure, look around you at your environment. Can you name 5 things in your immediate vicinity that bring you pleasure? That when you look at them, when you touch them, when you wear them, when you taste them, when you whatever, that actually give you that warm, tingly sensation of just joy in your body? Go ahead. I'll wait. You can put them in the comment section, and I'll check them out there if you don't want to, shout them out to your screen. I get that. That could be weird, but we do it for football games, so why not? Yeah, go ahead. Just shout them out to me. right now. Go ahead. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I know that's weird, but no weirder than me having a conversation with a camera, right? That's pretty weird. I don't want to live any more of my years without as much of that as I possibly can. All the pleasure I can put my hands on, basically. I want to live the remaining years I have on this side of consciousness just in pleasure, experiencing pleasure. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that being alive is going to bring some very not so pleasurable sensation. I know that there is still grief I'm going to experience. I know there is loss and sadness and headaches and quite possibly a cold or two. God forbid anything else, right? But I know these things are going to visit my life in some way, shape, or form. And those things aren't pleasurable by any means. But if I can endure them in an environment that is pleasurable, that has been designed to bring me joy, I think I'll be all right. Yeah, I think I will end it there for today's segment. I'll sprinkle in some images and whatnot of things in and around my apartment that please me, that bring me pleasure. And I will then chat some more with you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Howdy ho, good people. It is Wednesday, February 3rd. Wednesday, February 3rd. And I am off once again, attempting to meet an appointment at the Department of Motor Vehicle. The last time we were on this journey, it took me an hour to get to the location. I stood in line for half an hour. And right at 5 o'clock, which is what time my appointment was, a gentleman comes out and says they won't be able to see anybody because their system has been down all day. Now, at what point did it not occur to this particular location to hop on their handy-dandy little email system and let anybody know with an appointment that their system was hosed and rescheduled? Why was that not a thing? Go figure. Modern bureaucracy at its finest, I suppose. But anyway, I wanted to hop on today. Had this kind of question in my head. Now, we up to this point I've been talking about pleasure and doing things specifically to please yourself, outside of what other people say you should do, should think, and so on, right? And the question that popped into my head is based on an old video that I saw on YouTube, and if I think about it, I'll actually link it below. I didn't watch the whole video, but the gentleman was talking about, apparently the singer Lizzo got a lot of negative feedback because she started drinking smoothies and was exercising, if I understand it correctly. I don't keep track of or keep up with the latest celebrity beefs and such, so I'm not quite sure what the whole hubbub was about. But if I understand it correctly, Lizzo basically posted she was drinking a smoothie, and everybody and a lot of the internet commentators fired back that she was letting them down, and somehow or another she was now going against the body positivity movement and blah blah blah, right? And I got to thinking about it, because how often Oh, and there's also apparently something going on with a younger singer by the name of Chloe, who posted some pictures, and folks were fussing at her because of what she was wearing and how she looked. And yes, so all of that, right? And I'm thinking about pleasure and doing what feels good to you, and what matters to you, what makes you happy, right? And I'm thinking, why? Well, two things. Number one, why does a performer, celebrity, why do they have to do something in order for you to feel good about who you are? So, for example, if one of my favorite celebrities suddenly shaved their head and went bald and then started wearing a wig, why am I now fussing, or why now do I not feel good about being bald? Or why do I need them to feel good about being bald for me to feel good? You know what I mean? Why do you need, and I'm saying you, but why do these commentators, why do these people feel Lizzo, or this Chloe person, why do they feel they have to look and be a certain way in order to validate who they are as a person? And I get it, representation, it feels good when prominent people look and or think and or do things that you do. It takes some of the heat off. You can point to them and go, well, so-and-so is doing it, and the world thinks they're beautiful. Or so-and-so is doing it and they're still successful. So-and-so is doing it and they still have a job. Subsequently, you feel validated, right? But I'm starting to see where that is misplaced. It feels really good for people to be on your side, but I do believe it's detrimental if you don't feel enough self-love, self-acceptance, that you can't generate that validation for yourself, that you can't be okay without that outside example to point to. And I got to thinking about all of that today, because I want to continue to do what feels good, what matters to me, without slipping back into that looking for somebody else to show up and say, oh yeah, that's good, or be on my side, or whatever that is, whatever that outside validation is. I want to no longer need that in all areas of my life. Because right now I still have one or two areas where I won't do something unless certain people are on board, unless certain people tell me that that's a good idea, that they think I should do it or whatever, if they approve or disapprove. So I gotta work on that. But anyway, so yeah, that was what was floating around in my head today. Hope everyone is having a good day, evening, so on and so forth. And yeah, I'm gonna shut her on down and boogie on over to the DMV and hopefully get my license and stuff taken care of today. So in the meantime, you guys take it easy. See you in tomorrow's segment. We'll see you tomorrow. Hi-yo, my friends. It is Friday, February 5th. It is another cloudy, overcast, kind of gloomy day, and I've had a day. Let's just put it that way. And so, if I may be honest, I am contemplating what and if any next moves I can make to bring about a more pleasurable work experience, a more pleasurable life experience, given the climate, shall we say, in the world, but particularly here in the US of A. I had a moment last summer. I did a video about it. which I might link below. I have to think about that. So, of course, by the time you're seeing this, feel free to check out the description and see if there's a link to the video there. But basically, last summer, as I say in the video, I lost my shit. And I've had therapy to help me find it and clean it up. But today, I have been triggered and reminded that no matter what I do or how I do it, unless I am working for myself, by myself, I am almost guaranteed to find or work with at least one person who feels at ease being inconsiderate and disrespectful, and being in a situation where the color of my skin and the gender I portray dictate people's interactions with me. I will always be at a slight disadvantage unless I am working for and by myself. This does not please me. So what to do when you love to eat and live indoors, have a small amount of financial responsibility at this point, yet being of a certain age, again, skin tone and gender. I know that job opportunities are few and far between if I want to go work for someone else again. And that, my friends, is the true problem sitting heavy on my chest right now, is I don't want to work for anyone else anymore. I just don't. I don't know what it was in me that allowed me to do it for the last 35 years. And I stay in amazement at how my mother and her generation and the generations before that, how they did it. How they did it. But then again, you know, in my family, there's a lot of heart disease, a lot of mental kinds of issues, a lot of high blood pressure. So they did it at a cost. And I do believe I'm struggling to pay that cost right now. All right, well look, it's a Friday. I don't necessarily want to end this week's vlog on such a down note, but like I said, I'm struggling today. So I think what I'll do is I will just go ahead and call it right now. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see where we're at come Monday. Hope you guys, by the time you see this, hope you had a nice weekend and are looking forward to a good week. And I'll see you in the next one.